Time check on Tobago updates is brought to you by Flow, Tobago's newest fiber network.
This Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video calls, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. I am Adana Kambi and it is Tuesday, 5th December 2023. Yes, we are in the month of December, festive time. So we are here bringing to you all the things that are happening in and around Tobago as we head on into this month where we celebrate. We celebrate each other, we celebrate life, and we celebrate the birth of Christ Jesus. But before we continue, of course, we're going to head on into the news in 90 seconds, sponsored by B-Mobile.
Thank you, Adana. I am Tanika Cruikshank, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, the 5th of December 2023, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile. 28 Tobagonians received awards for their contributions to the development of the islands in various spheres during a special ceremony at the Shopper Complex. Medals were awarded in 3 categories: the Tobago Medal of Honor Gold for Distinguished and Outstanding Service to Tobago, the Tobago Medal of Honor Silver for Long Methodist Service to Tobago, and the Tobago Medal of Bronze for Loyal and Devoted Service beneficial to Tobago. Among the awardees were Cecil Caruth, Deborah Moore Miggins, Jonas C. Bruce, and Bill Brown. Additionally, the Chief Secretary Award for Outstanding Contributions and Significant Achievements in the sphere of sports was given to Kyla Keith Wilson. On Tobago Day, the Chief Secretary Fali Augustine urged Tobagonians to embrace growth, noting the island's quest to being the best little island on the planet. Acknowledging the discomfort that accompanies progress, he underscored Tobago's determination for self-actualization and the need for strengthened governance. With a laser focus on digital transformation, the Chief Secretary advocated for greater autonomy, envisioning a voluntary future for the THE. Augustine stressed that the additional powers are vital for effective managing of Tobago affairs. The MV Cabo Star cargo vessel is set to face disruption in its schedule over the next week due to adjustments made to accommodate the cruise ship season in Trinidad and Tobago. With 17 cruise ships arrive in Port of Spain in December, the Cabo Star will need to anchor elsewhere. Despite potential challenges, the Port Authority, along with the Tobago business community, reported they are working on solutions to minimize the impact on the cargo's transportation. The Galleon Specialist Ferry is poised to fill any gaps, and additional sailings are planned. And that was your news in 90 seconds, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
This Christmas we celebrate it, cause B-Mobile they coming with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prices, cause this season will be done nice. It's the the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price. The most giveaways, the most parang. Having a Christmas season with me mobile. I want a Christmas season with me mobile. Bring me sorrel every toast to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with me mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up or pay your bills. Enjoy the best Tobago Christmas. Be mobile. Life is on.
Thank you, Tanika, for your news there in 90 seconds. Of course, we saw the awards last night taking place there, the Tobago Day Awards taking place there, and we saw many Tobagonians being outstanding in their service to Tobago, in their communities, in culture, in sports, in education. So we want to say congratulations and kudos to you, and we also want to encourage the rest of the Tobago population to step forth and to shine in your position, to shine in the place where you are planted, to do your very best and to bring all that you can to your communities, to improve communities, to improve our society, to improve our education system and every single industry on the island of Tobago. Congratulations there again, going out to all the awardees, also to the THA, the Tobago House of Assembly, for hosting a very beautiful series of events there as we celebrated Tobago Day. Right, we're going to go on into our birthday segment, our birthday shout-outs. And celebrating a birthday today, we have Miss Dana Joseph. Dana Joseph, it's your birthday today, and we want to wish you a very happy birthday. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we pray that you enjoy all the celebrations that come with a birthday. Next up, we celebrate Sheldon Solomon. Sheldon Solomon is also celebrating a birthday today, and we want to wish you a very happy birthday. We pray God's blessings upon your life. We pray that you enjoy your birthday and all the love that comes with a birthday. And next, we have Miss Sparkle Dennis. Sparkle Dennis, sparkling there in that nice blue dress. We want to say happy birthday to you, Sparkle. Birthday blessings coming out to you from all of us here at the Tobago Updates Television. We hope that you have a wonderful birthday and that you enjoy God's blessings upon your life. Right, viewers, you are viewing the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. It is currently 7 a.m. So for those of you who are getting yourselves ready for work at 8, I mean, you have less than an hour to get there, and we're always so happy that you are joining us here on the morning show. We're happy to be in your homes, in your cars, wherever you are listening and viewing. We want to say thank you for choosing the morning show every day, every weekday on Tobago Updates Television. Right, so you're probably wondering, who are we having conversations with this morning on our show? And here I am to let you know. We are speaking with Mr. Curtis Williams. He is the president of Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Tobago chapter, and we're speaking about the Cabo Star December sailings. Yes, you heard in the news that there are some disruptions, so we're going to have conversations where that is concerned. So you'll be enlightened and you'll be brought up to speed as to what is happening there. We also speak with Mr. Ricardo Bob. Ricardo Bob is the public health inspector for, and of course it's Christmas time, so we're talking about white waste cleanup for Christmas. So you want to listen up just in case you have items to take out. We're going to talk about that as well. And we're rounding the conversation with Dayshell Morrison. She's the music teacher at Signal Hill Secondary School, as well as we speak with Josel Dan, a student at the same school, and it's Christmas on the Greens, hosted by Signal Hill Secondary School. So we're going to be bringing some information about that. So you want to stay tuned with us as we talk about things. Everything we're talking about today relates to Christmas, and of course it's Christmas time here in Trinidad and Tobago, across the globe, as a matter of fact. And I want to take this moment to send Christmas greetings to everybody far and wide as you begin to prepare for the celebrations that take place on December 25th. Some of you, I know, have already started your Christmas preparations, and of course we want to hear, what are your traditions, what are your customs, what are some of the things you do to prepare for Christmas time? What does your family do? How do you celebrate? What is happening where you are as it relates to Christmas? Of course, you'll be hearing some of our traditions as well as we celebrate Christmas. Christmas time at my home with my family is a beautiful time. We all have a big, beautiful Christmas breakfast together. Yes, and we always look forward to that wonderful time where all my siblings, my parents, we all come together in one home and we have a beautiful, beautiful Christmas breakfast. For those of you who have crashed our Christmas breakfast, you know how wonderful it can be. So just tell us a little bit about what you are doing for Christmas time. Excited to find out. All right, viewers, we're going to go to a short break before we begin conversations with our guest. And while we go to the break, of course, we invite you to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be back.
Suffering with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. We've been drinking with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. Sign up now for 50% off plus a chance to win over $100,000 in prizes. Call 800-4663.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
At JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs, carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi, and I'll be taking you through our show this morning. Online, we have our first guest, Mr. Curtis Williams, and he is the president of Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce Tobago Chapter, and we're speaking this morning about the Cabo Star and the sailings for December 2023. Good morning, Mr. Williams, and welcome.
Good morning, Adana, and welcome to all your viewers and listeners. It's a pleasure being here.
It's always a pleasure having conversations with you, and we're going to go head straight into our conversation this morning. We're talking about the sailings for the Cabo Star 2023. In the news, we heard that there might be some disruptions, but this is Christmas time, it's December, and it's a very important time for trade, right? Especially between the two islands, where we're going to need goods and services coming up from Trinidad to Tobago, and of course, sending stuff down to Trinidad as well. So I am very, very curious to find out about this disruption and how it is going to affect business between the two islands.
Adana, once more, I think it's known, and it must be known. We did send out a press release yesterday to debunk any issues that or concern that anyone may have. Apparently, someone got it wrong. The sailing of the Cabo Star and even the cruise ship season schedule were given to us in our meeting about 2 to 3 months ago. So we all knew the sailing and of the Cabo Star, etc., based on the cruise ships and their call of port. And so we will definitely plan accordingly. In that meeting, we had all the truckers, we had stakeholders, we have chamber members, etc., and other business folks. So we were all fully aware of the schedule of the sailing of the Cabo Star. Even up to a week ago, we were given an update once more about the sailing of the Cabo Star, the days, etc. I did send that copy across to the media houses. So we are fully aware of the sailing. So I don't think there's any disruption. What we have basically is that once the cruise ship is in port, in Port of Spain, the sealing is affected. And this information was communicated to us before, so we planned accordingly. All our warehouses, etc., all of us plan accordingly. We do plan accordingly.
Right, but in the event of, let's say, for instance, goods are scheduled to come up on a specific sailing, but there's a delay in the warehouse, so we missed that sailing, and there's a disruption in the sailing, so it pushes everything back as well. I know there's planning, as you said, your meeting that you had 2 months prior to this and your stakeholders were involved. But what is put in place for the event, in the event where there is some measure of additional setback to getting goods and services across the two islands?
Adana, even to reinforce the point, the Port Authority have put on additional sealing. They're using their galleon passage to assist, and also they did additional sealing on Saturdays to assist with moving goods between the island throughout the period of December. And as you can, I mean, I did send the schedule to your office, so you guys will have an idea about the schedule and how the sailing will be. Now we see most of the times the sailing will be off. It will be after Christmas. So we said that 24th, 25th, going all that way down, because that's a time when everything is down. Everybody's gone on holidays. All the construction site is closed. I mean, a lot of folks is out. Even I myself might be out. So there's not much activities happening. So that's the only time I see where there's a length of time based on the plan that I sent you guys. So, but other than that, we have the normal day on, day off. Up to last night, the vessel came in, this morning, sorry, and I offload my goods, and the vessel was about probably 90+% fill, and we did well. I mean, there's nothing. We have food stuff on the island. Again, the schedule was sent before, so we all planned. I didn't see anything to be any uproar or anything of that sort. It's just probably some folks probably wasn't paying notice to what was going on. So now we probably kind of heighten them, and they understand now, hey, this thing was communicated to us before, and we all make the necessary plan.
Right, and I like the fact that you said your stakeholders were involved and there's a plan because you had your meeting before and you sent out the schedule. But you're quite right that some people might not have heard or might not have paid attention, because, I mean, sometimes a little aggressive public education is what is needed sometimes, especially when it comes down to crunch time. But the planning is necessary. Having the schedule beforehand is necessary because, I mean, at the end of the day, this is cruise ship season, and every year we will have cruise ships in around this time when we have the sailings between both islands as well for goods and services. So kudos to all the stakeholders who came together to ensure that there was a sailing schedule, to ensure that there is minimal, if at all, disruption in terms of getting goods and services across both islands as well. And you said you cleared some goods just this morning, so I suppose that that system is working for you guys, and I'm happy to hear that. In terms of the needs or the request, the demand for sailing, how has it been? Do you have any idea how has it been so far?
Well, based on the planning, folks have done their planning excellent. As I indicated, the vessel is approximately 90% full. Up to this morning, I've noticed the amount of trucks and trailers coming off, as the case may be. So there's no big set of panic or concern. I mean, going forward, what we said in the meeting, which was something that I think that's probably where a lot of folks didn't understand. It was mentioned that we will try to see if we could put the vessel on the other side, which is the GSS side of the terminal, in terms of berthing, so that when there's a cruise ship, we won't have that disruption. They did try, and there were some issues coming back from the captain, and he had some concerns, some safety concerns. So, and those concerns are presently being dealt with. So we know going forward, the vessel will be docked hopefully next year when all these concerns are addressed. The vessel now will be docked on the GSS side. But in the meantime, the port and the chamber, we have daily dialogue. Adana, the port daily. My committee head by Mr. Demi Cruikshank, definitely working with the port 24/0 in getting any kind of communication out to us in terms of any kind of order disruption or delays, as the case may be. And but we have a great relationship with the port, and we must say thanks to them for communicating with us. And we do send that communication to all our members, non-members, and we do share it with the public. So there's a bit of cooperation happening between the two entities, the Port Authority and the business community. So it's much, much better, and I'm happy with that. As you can see, the schedule up online, and the schedule definitely indicated the days when there will be no sailing. We see for the Christmas period, which will be like the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, and there will be no sailing until about the 29th. And we know that period is a very, very slow period, because I believe by that time, all of us have done all our big shopping, and we as a business people, our sales have been over, so our warehouses are much less empty. So there's nothing much. We were just hoping that we get some good sales over the period, and we could all enjoy the Christmas season.
That schedule looks acceptable by me, right? Because as you said, that peak period there, they're sailing between the 20th to the 23rd, thereabout, where the height of the rush, the last minute things would get in by that time. And I like what you said earlier about the relationship that you have with the Port Authority. That brings some measure of comfort in terms of being able to get information from the port in terms of if there's going to be any delays or any setbacks. Having that information and having contact with your members and contact with the general public to know should something happen, that they have sufficient time to put something else in place. That brings a measure of comfort, because we've seen in the past where a lot of truckers and a lot of persons were very disgruntled because of cancelled sailings or for whatever reason without prior knowledge. I mean, some things are unavoidable. There might be an issue where the sailing has to be cancelled, but the fact that there is communication, immediate communication where information can be transposed to the necessary stakeholders and the persons who are engaging in the service brings some measure of comfort to us. And I always like having conversations with you, because I find that you bring a lot of information to our public. You bring awareness, and you ensure, for some reason, you just bring that measure of comfort. You know, the last conversation I had with you also was very engaging, and now on this very sensitive matter, it makes people feel a little bit more, reassured that we got you covered. We saw the schedule there for the sailing, and we can clearly see when there are no sailing days. So the general public, we're just asking you to make sure that you make your plans around the sailing. Of course, we have the support of the other ship as well to get goods across in the event the Cabo Star is not sailing. So we want to thank you so much for bringing that information to us. And I just want to know if there's anything else you want to share with our public before we end this conversation this morning.
Well, I just want to tell the business owners, look out for the additional sailings, due to the fact that some of the additional sailings we are not taking, the uptake is a pretty low on it. So we're looking for the additional sailings, especially on Saturdays, to take full advantage of it and plan accordingly. And we should have a smooth and enjoyable Christmas. We're looking for all the sails now. So we open, our warehouses are filled, the capacity, we have all the food, we have all the drinks. Guys, come and shop. We're ready for sales.
I love it. I love to hear it. Of course, the business community out there getting their stuff together in collaboration with all the other stakeholders to ensure that we have all the goods that we need for this festive season. Thank you so much, Mr. Williams, for coming on the program this morning and sharing that information with us. And of course, for bringing some Christmas cheer, because I mean, it's Christmas. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and have a good day.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're going to go for a short break. But before we go for a break, guess who's coming up next? Up next, we have Mr. Ricardo Barber, Public Health Inspector 4. He's up next, and we'll be talking about white waste cleanup for Christmas. We're going to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio this morning. And of course, we're going to let you know that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be back.
The standard, and Today we're launching High. It's our newest brand that Standard is launching, and it's where luxury meets affordability. We're very proud of this brand. It's taken some time to get the right collection in place, and we're also going to continue to improve on our collection as time goes by and we listen to our customers more. We've changed our suppliers for this collection to European suppliers, so you're going to get that European finish. We've been very pleased by some of the results that we've been seeing in terms and response to it in the market, and we're so glad to bring it to Tobago and show Tobago what Standard could, grow with them as well.
It's not just about looking good or having materials that are easily cleaned or sustainable materials, because the important thing about this particular collection is that it is quality. It is meant to last, and it lives up to the standard name about never beating on quality and price. This furniture particularly, especially our outdoor line, which ranges from fiberglass, plastic types of outdoor stools, outdoor chairs, even the outdoor furniture, it is built to last.
That's the importance with High, right? It's not only looking good, it's going to feature things that make your life easier, and it's not too damaging on the pocket. That's important for us.
This furniture fits the lifestyle of Tobago, of the Tobago customer, of the Tobago guest. It is the perfect type of furniture for you.
Don't be fearful or ignorant about diseases. The opportunity to learn how to effectively work with or even reverse sicknesses is here. Do you know someone that is suffering from an illness? You are invited to come and learn in this in-depth, hands-on training program. Call this number and reserve your space in this God-inspired hands-on medical missionary training program going on in Tobago. See you there.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Combi, and we continue conversations with guests in studio. For those of you who are checking in, it's now 7:21 a.m. Yes, you have just about 40 minutes, or should I say 39, to get yourself in your office space. So for those of you who are dropping off to school, is school still in? And for those of you who are getting into the office, there is just that 40 minutes, 39 minutes to get there. We're speaking with Mr. Ricardo Bob in studio this morning. He is the Public Health Inspector 4, and we're talking about white waste cleanup for Christmas. Of course, at Christmas time, we always buy these new appliances. We always have something that we need to throw out as well. So we're here to talk about that in terms of the schedule for getting it done and the proper way in which to take it out to the roadside or wherever it is they're going to be collecting it. Good morning, Mr. Bob, and welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning to you. Good morning to Tobago.
Right. Yeah. So we're happy to have you, and we're happy to talk about anything about Christmas. We're happy to talk about in studio these days, because it's Christmas time. Just look at our nice background there. It's all about Christmas. So we know around this time there's a lot of waste that people store in and around their homes for the entire year. But Christmas time is the time when we try to get rid of them.
Yes.
So when we talk about white waste, what are we talking about?
Right. Well, it's amazing. I'm amazed at the amount of waste that people have in their homes. When we talk about white waste, actually, the white waste program is part of our mosquito eradication program. This is the rainy season, and people usually have a lot of appliances, especially, that can hold water. What they do, they tend to put them in the backyard, in the front yard, someplace around the house. And then we run the risk of having an outbreak of dengue fever and other mosquito-borne diseases. So as part of our mosquito eradication program, this white waste collection is what we do. We try to do them several times a year. However, it may not always work out. But Christmas time is one of the best times because people are, out with the old, in with the new. People are more inclined to participate and cooperate. And that's why we're doing this campaign. Now, as a matter of fact, we're a little bit late because we recognize that the closer we put it to Christmas, the more challenging it is. However, we are up for the challenge.
And you're right, out with the old and in with the new. This is the time people, just last week or whenever it was when they had the Black Friday sales, you saw the stores flooded with people buying television, they're buying all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
So, of course, and you're right, I've seen, even in my own space, I've seen where people just have their old stuff on the outside of the house collecting, as I say, water, breeding ground for pests.
Breeding ground for pests,
right?
yes.
And so, some of the things that we call white waste, what can we categorize or itemize as white waste for those of the viewers who are hearing this term for the first time?
Yes, so your old microwave, your old refrigerator, the stove, any appliance that can, you even have sometimes part of the iron, your old oven, all those things, old pipes, washers, dryers, all those things. People tend to have those things. What we don't take up, people sometimes put out like the old galvanizer and stuff as well. We'll take that up. However, we don't want you to put old concrete because some people do that. Some people put out every single thing. That's for another collection. But whatever can hold water. Sometimes we find old containers as well. They may be metal or they may even be plastic. So, for example, we had a wonderful, we partnered with Speyside last weekend, and they did a wonderful cleanup in the Speyside area. And as we're talking about that, we're going to start in the east. The east is where things begin, is where the day starts, the sun comes up. Right. So we are going to start in the east, in Charlottesville. We start on the 14th actually, which is next week. So it means that when we start on the 14th, that area that we are doing on the 14th, you must put out your waste on the 13th, the afternoon before. So we're calling on neighborhoods. It's an opportunity to literally come together, to have even brand new relationships and help each other. There may be senior citizens in your community who may have things, you help them to bring them out in the front of your property, not on other people's property. That's right. So that we can collect them easily. We will have our workers as well to assist folks in the community. So we start on the 14th. We start in Charlottesville and we're doing down to Calder Hall. We'll have 10 trucks that will be participating in the project, and we do down to Calder Hall for the first 2 days. After that, we go to the north. So we're moving kind of like east to west. Right. Because the sun sets in the west, so that's the close of day. The west is kind of like the most densely populated area, and so we want to make sure that we clean up the east first. After we finish the first 2 days in the east, then we are going to go across to the north, Lansfommy, all the way down, including Mount Thomas, Golden Lane, and those areas, and then we go to the central area, Scarborough, Bacalet, Marys Hill, and those areas, and then we go down to the city, where we will do our cleanup. And we really want people to participate. We want people to cooperate. One of the challenges we normally have is people tend to put out the waste after. We notify, we send out flyers, we do announcements, and I don't know, but this year we are encouraging, we are asking, we are begging you, Tobago, do not put out your waste after the schedule, because it complicates things. Because we're doing the campaign so late in the game, remember, we'll be doing cleanup the week before Christmas. What we found sometimes, people wait until Christmas Eve night. And after the streets are beautifully cleaned, we pass on Christmas morning because we do work. We have the cruise ships that are coming in on those days, and people are putting out stuff. We're asking you not to do that. Remember, this is the most beautiful place, the cleanest, most beautiful planet on the island on the planet. So we don't want to have those things happening. So put your stuff out as per schedule. Let's help each other. Let's use it as an opportunity to come together as a people. Because what I've noticed is that we are adjusting our behaviors in terms of how we deal with waste, and I'm very concerned about that. So we want to use this as an opportunity, a springboard to more exciting things as we move forward.
When you say we are adjusting our behaviors as it relates to waste, tell me a little bit about what you mean about that.
Right. Now, we're not taking care of our waste as we should. We're just putting it anywhere. So I was driving on the streets of Scarborough Sunday evening, and I'm like, my goodness, there's a lot of litter around. why are we doing this? There are bins and people are not putting the waste in the bin. You move around in certain communities. Just yesterday we had to send our truck down to Mount Pleasant, down to Canaan, and people are just throwing their waste in vacant lots when we have an excellent collection service. We have one of the best in the region. And so we need not have that amount of waste. The next thing is, believe it or not, you can call 639-1433 any working day, and if you have white waste, we will actually come and collect it from you. So that's a service that we offer that many people actually tap into. So you don't have to wait until the collection time comes. If you have any old appliances and so on, you can just call that number and we'll come and take it up. Yeah. So there are services that are available and we continue to promote them. 639-1433. And I'm even going to be brave enough to give you my own number so that you can call, we can arrange it. People do it all the time.
And the thing about it, though, is you're talking about white waste right now, and you gave me your whole experience with people, discarding the waste in a irresponsible way. What about people who are driving in cars and just put the windows down and throw things out? I mean, these are things that are unacceptable.
Unacceptable. And I don't know, since when we have become that kind of people, we are losing our consciousness, and it is in the little things. We love to travel to countries and say, oh, this country is so clean and nice. How did it become clean and nice? It's because those people who belong to that country take care of the country. And so Tobago, this can happen in Tobago. I remember once a friend of mine, brought their daughter to Tobago all the way from Belgium. And we are taking them on a tour of Tobago. They found this place so beautiful. And here is this lady. She's seeing litter on the forts, and she's going with her bare hands and taking them up. And like, wow. I felt so embarrassed because she's saying this place is too clean to have any litter, and she's taking it up with her bare hands and look for a bin. Every bottle, every piece of paper.
I think we need to come back to a place of pride in our own space, of national pride, and pride in our communities and in the space. Because as you rightfully said, Tobago is a beautiful place, and a lot of people advocate for the beauty of Tobago.
Yes.
So maybe we need to come up with ways that we could, inspire people to be proud of your space, proud of your environment, proud to call here our home, and to take care of this part of the planet that was given to us to cherish. And so the white waste collection begins from the 14th of December, and you're starting, as you said, in the east. And the encouragement or the advice is rather to put it on the outside the evening before.
Yes, the evening before. So because we're going to start about 6 in the morning, since 6 and 7 in the morning, and we're going to be moving through every street, every village we're going to be doing. And if you find that we may have missed a spot, then you can call 639-1433 and let us know, or you can call even my number 751-4960, and we will ensure that that waste is picked up. We're just saying, please don't put it out Christmas Eve, because the folks who are doing, and we've had that before. I remember we did a campaign about 6 years ago, and we moved through the entire of Tobago, and then Christmas Day people are calling because they put their stuff out Christmas Eve night and expects us to collect it.
I'm thinking maybe there should be some measure of repercussions for people who do things like this. Is just my own personal opinion.
The only thing is that they put it out in the night, so we never see who it is.
Right. But the thing about the campaign, though, I think maybe a more active and aggressive campaign in terms of ensuring people know when the collection days are for their areas. Because we know so far the 14th we started in Charlottesville.
Yes.
When is the schedule actually coming out?
Right, so you should get that schedule out by tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, yes, that schedule should be out so folks can know, and we are going to not just put it on all the different medias, but we hope to be able to have announcements and so on in the areas, and then we'll utilize a lot of our workers who are in the communities to do groundwork.
Right. And you mentioned something earlier when we were talking about collecting the items from within your communities, and it actually gives a perfect opportunity for community involvement.
Yes.
The elderly people, as you mentioned, the older persons in the communities who are not as mobile or, just not feeling to get out.
Yes.
The younger people could rally around them and help them to bring their waste out.
Church groups, community groups, sports groups, and so on. And this is a beautiful time because school is going to be out. So the younger ones, get them involved, not just playing on the devices and so on. They could make positive contributions to the development of Tobago, and we're having a gap between the younger generation and the older generation because young people don't think they'll ever get old. And it's not like long ago where when your parents bake the bread, they will say, go drop it for auntie or granny. Now everybody have their own thing, so there's a gap that is developing between the population, and it needs to be bridged, and this is like a really powerful bridging opportunity as well. So there are social activities that people can engage in, even like these, and of course you keep the environment clean, you reduce the burden of disease, because could you imagine, we get an outbreak of dengue just about now, putting a burden on the health system that is already strained with all the chronic diseases that we have. So the idea of prevention is actually much more critical now. And we can capitalize on that opportunity.
So this is a holistic approach. It's not just about collecting waste. It's also about preventing diseases. That's it's also fostering community togetherness, engagement. It's also helping our young people to find some sense of purpose during this period. And if they're clever, they could even make a small business out of it.
Of course. So you see that there are so many things. And I didn't even talk about the rodent infestation, which is happening around now. Once you have harborage, you'll have rodents as well. When you move these things out, people die from leptospirosis in our country every year. And then the thing about it, the loss to business and to all, or even in the home, when rats, infest your home and bite up your food and your clothes and all these things. So there's a lot. I think we could spend more time educating people and encouraging people to be more conscientious, because we're losing that. People are becoming much more selfish, and we are saying this is not the Tobago that we grew up in.
That's right. That's right. Everybody lives in a sort of isolation. I have as you rightfully said, I have my own thing. Long time where there used to be in a village, only like one or two persons have a TV, or one or two persons have a stove or a fridge. And as you said, Granny would bake and she would send to all your neighbors. I remember growing up younger, you have to send bread here, send bread there, you're walking up the whole hill, back up and down to deliver bread. And we really used to be a community in those days. And so I really wish that those things can come back as well, so that we work together to ensure that our space is clean, that our space is habitable and safe, and that the generations that come up can enjoy, the things that we have here on this island of Tobago. And I want to thank you so much, and we look forward to the schedule when it comes out in terms of collection. And I want to take this opportunity on your behalf to encourage our viewers and our listeners to ensure that you listen out for the schedule, you put your items out the evening before, and that you don't miss the bus. Please do not put your things out on Christmas Eve night. I know everybody likes the element of surprise because they want to make sure their house spick and span Christmas morning. But what about the people who are working to ensure that the environment itself is clean? We don't want to put added pressure on the resources that we currently have. We want to ensure that all the items are out in this specified times, the times that we advise that they are out. So join with the division and ensure that your waste is outside in the correct time, and that don't put any concrete.
No concrete.
We collected white waste, and we, Mr. Bob, itemize what the white waste looks like. It's your microwave, your fridge, your stove, anything like that, containers that can collect water and cause infestation of any sort. Is there anything you'd like to share in closing before we wrap?
Well, we have noticed that as I drive around, I'm seeing a lot of old mattresses. We will take up that as well. Okay. But we're just encouraging people to participate and to cooperate so that we can have a successful campaign. And as we do this, you'll feel much better in your own community.
Yes, because I love to see a nice clean space, and of course it's Christmas time. We want the place to look nice and fresh. We want to smell the paint. We don't want to smell the bugs. So make sure you take your stuff outside in time. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bob, for coming into studio this morning and sharing this information with us. And coming up next is Miss Dayshell Morrison and Miss Joshelle Dan from the Signal Hill Secondary School, as they talk about Christmas and the Greens. They are coming up next. Viewers, we're going to go for a short break before we continue with conversations with them. And of course, this is your opportunity to share the life, share the life, share the life. We'll be back.
Tobago
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
The Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development has relocated its Crown Point office to Glen Road in Scarborough to better serve you, our clients. Our main office is located at the corner of Glen Road and Glen Road Branch Number 1, the building formerly occupied by Coastal. Our grant and electrical inspectorate services can be accessed at Number 2 Montessori Drive in Glen Road, Building 1 and 2.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi and we continue conversations in studio this morning. But before we get to our conversations, I just want to say good morning to some of you who are on the live with us this morning. Dora Lyons, Yolanda Cordner, Roma Price, Delisha Guy. Love the color, Adana. Yes, it's Christmas, so I will wear Christmas colors this month. Brenda Campbell, Demi John Cruikshank, Alicia Samuel. We want to say good morning to you, Lisa Frank Phillips. Good morning, Pearl Marie Beard. Good morning to you. And thank you guys for always choosing the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. Right, it's Christmas time and we're talking Christmas on the Greens. We're speaking with Miss Dachel Morrison and Miss Joshel Dan, a music teacher at the Signal Hill Secondary School and a student from the school as they talk about the upcoming event this Christmas here in Tobago. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Right, so it's Christmas time and we're talking about Christmas on the Greens. We want to know about this show. We want to know all about it, when it's happening, what we can look forward to, how much we have to pay to get there, the exciting things that are coming with Christmas on the Greens.
Okay, so good morning to everyone. So this is our second
annual Christmas concert, and it will be on December 7th at 5 p.m. at the Cecil Dalrymple Hall at the school. Tickets are $50 for children, $80 for adults, but it is $100 at the door. So I know Tobago people like last minute, so it would be $100 at the door. So I would, advise you get your tickets from now at the school. They are available there.
And I'm seeing the theme is love, the greatest gift. So if you're looking for a gift, an early gift to give somebody, I'm thinking that a ticket to this show is what can be given. So what can we expect for this show?
Well, we could expect performances from students, past students, parents, teachers, as well as those who just volunteered as well, who we may have asked. They would be a part of the cast as well. We have, for example, we have Sharon Phillips, who will be closing the show. We also have
dynamic performer.
Yeah, that's a big performer. We have Songs of Silence, Rhythmic Vibrations. Those are some of the people that will be there. Yeah.
Okay, and how has it been in terms of preparation, Joshelle?
Well, it has been hectic. There are a lot of things that we need to put in place in terms of decorating, in terms of organizing ushers, students to work backstage, students to help with marketing and so on. But all in all, we hope that this comes out in the best possible way, and I'm really excited, looking forward to it.
Right, and what is your role in the production?
Well, so far I would have been assisting in marketing. So, for example, I would have assisted in creating an ad for the concert. In addition to that, I would have also been promoting, for example, during assembly and outside of school as well.
Right, and you sound really, really excited, and you sound so proud that you're looking forward to this event. And what is the student body looking like? How in terms of hands on deck? How is it going so far?
Students are, as Joshua would have stated, that they are very excited. There are a number of them who are in the choir. There are some that are in the band, some that are doing solo items, duets, whether it be instrumental or vocal. We even have past students who just recently graduated. They are excited to sing and they volunteer to do a trio. So that is actually a good number to look forward to. And yeah, some are ready to decorate. They will be helping with the hall, putting out chairs, decorating the Christmas tree, putting up the lights. So we have a whole student or school involvement, I should say.
Right, and I'm sure it's an exciting time there. The school is busy. I could see, when Aunt's busy doing stuff, I could see them just, milling around and making sure everything is done for this concert. Because, Joshelle, you sound so proud. You sound so excited. You feel as if this is my thing, my baby, and I'm working hard towards it. How does it make you feel to be a part of something like this?
Well, as you said, I feel very proud. This is something that will add to the school, you know what I mean? Students will have the opportunity to showcase their talents. I could attest that the school has a plethora of talents. We have people who could sing, people who could dance, people who could act, poetry, spoken word, anything, you name it, and not just on performance on the stage, but outside of the stage. For example, our school's journalism club will be there highlighting the concert. Photography club will also be there. We'll have the ushers, we'll have students working backstage. So for me, it is a great opportunity as a student to showcase all the talents that I have, both on stage and off stage as well.
And of course, it gives them some kind of experience for different industries, because you're talking about ushering, you're talking about photography, journalism. So it gives them an opportunity to explore even hidden talents and skills, or even some measure of interest. Sometimes you might have an interest in something and you might not have the opportunity. So this gives them that opportunity. And I really like the fact that the students were used, Miss, I'm happy that they were used to help to plan this actual event, that it's not just the teachers and the students come to it. They have some measure of ownership. So they shape how they want it to look, and you know, I'm sure they were part of selecting the performers and stuff like that as well. Yeah, and I'm really excited to see how this would turn out, and I'm very proud of you. Good representation of your student body this morning to have this conversation with us as she spoke about the plethora of talents, and not just in the arts. Academically, you guys are doing pretty well as well. You know, I know you'll just launch an app or something like that, and so it's really a moment to celebrate, to relax after the long term. A moment to the hectic term, as you said, Miss, and to relax and to enjoy the community that the school is. And in terms of the patronage so far, how has it been? Have people been buying into the idea of how are ticket sales going?
Well, we could always wish for more ticket sales, you know, because we will never have enough. But people are contributing, people have been donating, people have volunteered to cook or prepare the meals for the artists and all of these things. So we have had good donations coming in every day. We have Miss Tells working really hard behind the scenes, you know, getting the support from people around the community. So yeah, it has been going quite well.
Awesome. And of course, they're going to be vending booths there, like food items and sale and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay,
food and drinks.
Right. What kind of food? You know, food is a staple on the island of Tobago. People get excited by food.
Yes. Well, from what I would know, I know we have pilori, we have popcorn, there's corn soup, and I think there are some ice cream sandwiches to be given away to students as well for free, so they can look out for something like that as well. I know they will look forward to, you know, lots of free items.
Right. It sounds very exciting. It sounds very exciting indeed. I mean, I know you said teachers would be participating. Is it singing? Is it dancing? What will they be doing? Is this a surprise?
Well, we can let a little bit of the cat out of the bag. We have a teacher we know that will be singing as well. She performed last year and she was a hit, and she was requested to be on the cast again this year, so we had to put her back again.
And Miss Dayshell, what are you going to be on stage, or are you working from behind the stage?
No, I'm not going to be on stage. I work with the choir and all the other students who are doing different items, the trio, the solos, instrumental and vocal. They have to pass through me. I have to practice with them and everything. So after all of the hard work, as you can hear, I'm losing my voice.
Tis the season to lose your voice.
So I will be behind stage, as I like to be.
And of course you're enjoying it. Sounds like you're enjoying it.
Yes, it's a lot of fun seeing it come together, seeing the students enjoy themselves. Like, for example, the choir, when the parts will come together and they hear that it sounds really good. Yes, miss, we sound good. And they'll put a lot of energy into it, and they just look good on stage, and we look forward to that.
Awesome. I mean, I'm really excited. There's so many things happening in and around December in terms of concerts and shows, but I like the energy that I'm getting on set today, you know, about this concert. And the theme, you said the theme is love, the greatest gift. How did you come with that theme? How is the theme selected? Is it a collaboration with the students, the teachers? What was the idea for the theme?
No, well, Miss Telt, I think she would have been the one to select that. And I guess just looking at how things are going in the community or the society, you know, love is really the greatest gift, and we need to show more love, not just at Christmas, but all
in general. And our previous guests, we were also talking about how people have become so isolated. So yes, we definitely need to spread some love, spread some joy around Christmas time. And it's a good gift to give somebody an opportunity just to sit back, relax, and enjoy the offerings that you would bring on this event. And I'm really looking forward. Joshua, are you performing? Are you doing outside of the marketing? Would you be on stage? Would you be backstage? What are you on in terms of the day itself? How would you be?
Well, I would be backstage helping our performers get ready. I am really excited to do this. This is something that I have never done, and I would really like to expand things that I could do. I usually perform on stage, but this time I want to try something different.
Of course, you know, expand your horizons and just see where your strengths are and if you like it and stuff like that. So it's like a full production, right?
Yes.
And all your other classmates, and so they are also helping backstage, front of stage, as you said, ushering, ticket sales, and all like this. So Miss, it sounds like you all have it covered. It sounds like you all have it covered. So I mean, there's no fear here, and I want to encourage our viewing public and listening public to, you know, patronize this very worthy cause, and this worthy is a season. It's a season to go to concerts. It's a season to go to shows and to enjoy performances, especially by children, because we see now how things are happening, and we're so happy that we have this group of children who are so excited and so committed to this event. They're working together, putting their differences aside, and they're coming together as a community. They're coming together in love, the greatest gift, to give us some love around Christmas time, because we know sometimes the year could be tough, it could be hard. As Miss said, the term was stressful, was demanding. So they want to give us some Christmas cheer through love, the greatest gift that you can give to someone. So in closing, is there any other thing that you want to share with our viewers before we wrap this morning?
Sure, Shelley, you want to go first?
In terms of tickets, how do we get the tickets? Where do we purchase tickets?
Tickets are purchased at the school, so anyone can come to the office area and just ask to purchase your tickets, and one will be given, or many will be given to you, and yeah, we can go from there. If that doesn't work, you can always purchase a ticket at the door.
All right, awesome. We want to say thank you so much for coming in and for sharing that information with us, and we look forward to participating in this concert. It's this Thursday, December 7th, 2023, 5 p.m. sharp at the Signal Hill Secondary School. Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're going to end our conversations this morning with our guests on the morning show. But of course, our programming continues with Beneath the Surface. This morning we speak with Dr. Faith B. Israel, so you sit close and hold on as we have those conversations this morning. It was a pleasure speaking with you. It was a pleasure always being with you on the morning show here on Tobago Updates. We thank you so much for inviting us into your homes, and wherever you are listening to us, we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, as we go on over to Beneath the Surface, we say this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live. Stay with us.
It is back again, Christmas on the Greens. Join us as we display our talents at this merry occasion. Thursday, 7th December 2023 at 5 p.m. at the Signal Hill Secondary School. Make it a date and don't be late. Tickets, children $50 and adults $80. See you there.
The initiative, aligned with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, aims to protect and promote the relevance of Tobago's underwater past.
Tobago, as you know, is an island that's exceedingly rich in history. Normally, when we talk about the island being very rich in history, our reference is to the land, all right? But as you know and appreciate, our history is also quite immense and large underwater.
Acknowledging a tumultuous history suffered on to Trinidad and Tobago by the Dutch, Ambassador to the Kingdom of the Netherlands, His Excellency Cornelius Hirschbach, explains that the countries have since enjoyed excellent bilateral relations. This continues today with the launch of the Maritime Archaeological Diving Training.
We believe that cultural heritage is of great value in an ever-changing world. Knowledge of the past helps us all to understand the here and now, as well as supporting our future endeavours. This appreciation for each other's countries continues to this very day. My gratitude is also, of course, to the various representatives of the THA, with whom we jointly celebrate the start of this training today.
The marine exploration of Tobago has captured the attention of historical enthusiasts and researchers, given the many battles fought from the 16th to the 18th century.
Given the historical significance of each and every ruin, artifact, and the structural that remains submerged in our marine spaces, namely Rockley Bay, which is the site of this project, which is adjacent to our current port of entry at Scarborough. This project provides an avenue to gain much needed research, development, and the possibility of eventual excavation of such artifacts, which even further provides Tobago with an attraction worth coming to see, experience, and hear about.
Specialist in maritime archaeology and underwater cultural heritage management, Professor Maritime will lead the exercise.
We're doing training, so we are going into the classroom and we do the theory again. But not only that, we're picking up our dive stuff and we're going out. And we're doing underwater archaeology, but especially underwater archaeological heritage management. That means we're not just picking things up from the seabed and putting them into a museum. We're thinking about how can we implement cultural heritage into society.
A total of 18 university students from throughout the region will be guided by archaeological diving experts over a 3-week period. During this time, they are also expected to encourage community interaction. I'm Ron McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Time check on Tobago updates is brought to you by Flow, Tobago's newest fiber network.
Christmas, speed is on us. Get up to 300 megabits per second of speed with our new Link Up Plus plan. Enjoy more speed, more channels, and free streaming for less. Plus, introducing Link Up More with up to 1 gig download speed. Download, stream, video calls, share memes, and more. Get free installation when you sign up in-store or online today at discoverflow.co.
Good morning, viewers, good morning, listeners, and all the people around the world who are looking at us today. This is Beneath the Surface, and I'm your host, Jerry McFarlane, and we're going to have a wonderful discussion this morning with our guests, and hope you all are set to hear the discussion, and very vibrant, very biting, and very charming too in some areas, but we're going to discuss the important issue about health and its related matters on this island, social protection, wellness, and of course, guess right. Your guests will be Faith B. Israel, Assemblyman, or Assemblywoman, as some people prefer to say. Faith, welcome to the program. But before we get started, we want to go for the news in 90 seconds, and then we'll be back and kick-starting the program with Faith B. Israel.
Thank you, Mr. McFarlane. I am Sanika Cruikshank once again, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, the 5th of December, 2023, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile. 28 Tobagonians received awards for their contribution to the development of the island in various spheres during a special ceremony at the Shore Park complex. Medals were awarded in 3 categories: the Tobago Medal of Honor, Gold for Distinguished and Outstanding Service to Tobago, the Tobago Medal of Silver for long and meritorious service to Tobago, and the Tobago Medal of Bronze for loyal and devoted service beneficial to Tobago. Among the awardees were Cecil Caruth, Deborah Moore Miggins, Joanna Sebro, Bill Brown. Additionally, the Chief Secretary Awards for outstanding contributions and significant achievement in the sphere of sport was given to Kyla Keith Wilson. On Tobago Day, the Chief Secretary Fali Augustine urged Tobagonians to embrace growth, noting the island's quest to being the best island on the planet. Acknowledging the discomfort that accompanies progress, he underscored Tobagonians determined for self-actualization and the need for strengthened governments. With a laser focus on digital transformation, the Chief Secretary advocated for greater autonomy, envisioning a revolutionary future for the THA. Augustine stressed that additional powers are vital for effective managing of Tobago affairs. The MV Cabo Star vessel is set to face disruptions in its schedule over the next week due to adjustments made to accommodate the cruise ship season in Trinidad and Tobago. With 17 cruise ships arrived at Port of Spain in December, the Cabo Star will need to anchor somewhere else. Despite potential challenges, the Port Authority, along with the Tobago business community, reported that they are working on solutions to minimize the impact on the cargo transport. The Galleon's Passage Ferry is poised to fill any gaps and additional sailings are planned. And that was your news in 90 seconds, brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
News in 90 seconds was brought to you by B-Mobile. It's a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
This Christmas we celebrating, cause B-Mobile they coming with rating. So brace yourself for plenty prices, cause this season will be the nice. It's the most deals and the most vibes and the most cars and the most price. The most giveaways, the most parang. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile. I want a Christmas season with B-Mobile. Bring me sorry, let me toast to a Merry Christmas. Having a Christmas season with B-Mobile.
Top up, buy a plan, sign up or pay your bills. Enjoy the best Trinbago Christmas. B-Mobile. Life is on.
Light up the Christmas with the best fiber. Surf for channels, switch to Amplia. Thousands in prizes, plenty smart TVs. 1 year free service and free groceries. We surfing with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. We binging with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. Sign up now for 50% off plus a chance to win over $100,000 in prizes. Call 800-4663. Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Na, 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na, 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 na. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor.
Yes, folks, we're back again, and this is a continuation of the series Beneath the Surface, coming to you from the studios of Tobago Update Television, and we're located in Portmore in Scarborough, on the greatest little island on the planet. We call that place Tobago. All right, and I just love this phrase or this catchphrase or this thing, the best or the greatest little island on the planet. And let me introduce my guest properly before we get into that, because I know Faith will have a lot of things. Faith, welcome to the program again, and I'm always happy to have you having these discussions with you on or off the air.
Good morning, and thanks for having me. It's an honor being here.
Yeah. But let us get straight into it. We have a little extra time this morning, but the amount of things that I think we could talk about there, I know we wouldn't have enough time. So we're going straight into it. Tell us a little bit about your early childhood. Well, first to begin, how are you managing in your responsibilities as assemblyman and as persons with responsibility in the Tobago House of Assembly, as Secretary for Health, Wellness and
Social
Protection. How are you managing those two portfolios?
Well, it's actually three. It's actually three now. So it's the Assemblyman, Belgarden Glamorgan. Good morning, Belgarden Glamorgan. It is the Secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection, and of course Deputy Chief Secretary, which means quite a bit in the Tobago space
that is quite true.
as well. Yes. How am I managing? I actually think I am doing pretty well. I have been trying to figure out how to balance my time and balance ensuring that I take some personal time for myself when necessary. I keep telling people that 95, 98, possibly 99% of the time I absolutely love all of my jobs. And then there is that 1% or 2% of the time that I think, oh, I'm tired of all yeah. But that is life. That is how human beings are. That is part of how we are as human beings. And of course, when those times come around, I say to myself, okay, Faith, what do you need to recharge? What do you need to get back to the 95% or the 99% of absolutely loving this job?
I hear you just throw a little coffee, a good bit of coffee, and a little bit of water, and just drink it.
Well, that is not even that is my every morning story. That is a normal part of. I must admit I do have one addiction, and it is to coffee. I do not.
But I hear you just throw a little bit of water.
Yeah, because it really is caffeine. If I could find a way to just get the caffeine into my system, I don't like the taste of coffee. I don't like the smell of coffee. None of that. It is literally for the drug caffeine to get it into my system so that I could go. I have tried functioning without caffeine. I am not a nice person when I don't have caffeine. So I ensure that I have it every morning. So yeah, that's a normal part of it. But other than that, I spend time just like resting and sleeping and watching TV. I watch quite a bit of TV when I need to, de-stress and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Something close to me, but not so much coffee. Yeah. But you've been doing quite well. How you cope in your area, your representative, being the representative for that area?
Well, that I think may be possibly the most challenging part of it, because a lot. So I am one of those people who need things to get done and need them to get done when they need to get done. And fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of the things that are the absolute requirements for my district are, for example, infrastructural works. And when you have an entire island filled with infrastructural needs, for example, as much as I would love for my colleague, Mr. Trevor James, to focus on Belgarden Glamorgan, he simply can't. He does not have the resources to do that. So I have learned that we kind of have to wait, things get done. I do, for example, a couple weeks ago, there was an area that has several potholes, and when you're driving in those areas, you're bracing yourself to drop down in the pothole because there's a kind of around a corner, there's no other way, and I braced myself to drop down in the pothole, and I realized, wait, the pothole fixed? What is this? So it's little things like that makes it, I'm like, okay, and I actually called him like, thanks for fixing them potholes in Robert Street, thank you. But I recognize that so many of those things, we really have to balance it throughout the island, which means my district alone can't get fixed. So, and I'm really saying that to the residents in the area, we are getting to you. You would recognize that there are some things that have been fixed. There are things that still need to be fixed, but that is just part of us trying to balance the resources on the island.
Okay. We want to talk a little more about that a little later and how you function in your responsibility. But we want to have an idea. you know, your background in terms of how you grew up and your childhood and teenage years. All the assemblymen seem to have that interesting part of them that makes the story so well and so interesting, I should say.
Well, I was born and raised in Belgarden. My I came from a teaching family, so my mother was a teacher, my grandmother, my aunt, my great aunt, so I came from a family of teachers. So I went into preschool very early, my mother's preschool, because I went in when I was 2, you know, when everybody else can't, but it's your mommy's school, so you're going when you're 2 kind of thing. Went to Belgarden Anglican, which were amazing years, and then went to Roxborough Secondary, and it's one of the things I am very proud about. I am one of those students who went to Roxborough Sec when they were during that year, during zoning. So it really didn't matter what your scores were because you live up so you go to school up there. And I must say that it really showed me that once a school is given the resources to do what it needs to do, then the school can produce. Because practically all of us who were in that year group, we have been successful, which shows that there is nothing wrong with Roxborough Sec because they didn't bring in new teachers or new anything like that. It was the same teachers who were there working with the students. They just sent in a crop of students that did not need as much remedial work as the other students that have been going to the school need. And we've all come out, I actually think, pretty well, pretty decent. And I'm very proud to tell people that, you know, when I go to schools, like I do the before C, well, it was Common Entrance my day. I go around to the schools and I remind them that the students who are in that C class, that the C exam that you are getting is the same C exam for the whole island. The CXC or the CSEC or whatever exam you get at the end of the 5-year period or the 6-year period in secondary school is the same exam as well. So whether you go to Roxborough, to Goodwood, to Bishops, to wherever, how you approach it, the fact that you do your work and so forth, at the end of it, you can come out like me with my 8 and 9 subjects having gone to Roxborough Sec, because it's the same exam that they gave the students who went to Scarborough Sec and Compre and wherever else. But it is up to you as a student, with your parents, with the support of your family, to make the best of it, and that is what I got. My mother was president of the PTA for the whole 4 years. I was in Roxborough Sec. So I had no option. I remember going in and her telling the teachers, this is my daughter, I giving all your permission to beat she. You know, that kind of thing. So you know you're going into it with that kind of supervision, with that kind of, this is all of us, all are we child kind of thing. And you know you must produce. And I think that is part of what we might be missing a little bit of now, that kind of involvement. And I actually...
This is the kind of thing that we used to say, it takes a village to raise a child. You lived it.
Exactly. And I also give the story about learning in my adult years that my mother did not, for example, understand maths and that kind of stuff, but she would make sure that when I came home, I had to show the grades, I had to show that I did well, I had to correct it and go back to school and bring it back, showing that it's corrected and so forth, not realizing that she didn't really understand any of that stuff. But the fact that she was there pushing made me know that I had to do it. And that is what I think a lot of our parents, you may not understand the work, that's fine, but you just need to be there and let the child know that you are there.
Support
provide
and
the support, the encouragement, and it will turn out pretty well.
And it has to do a lot with the temperament and the attitude of the student or the child itself, you know. Some people could be influenced or follow bad company and so on, you know, but you
know, I think though that has to do also with the I don't know that we really understand the power of our tongue and the power of when we say things to our children and when we pray certain things over our children. And when I say pray certain things, I don't necessarily mean going on your knees and praying. But when we speak certain things into the lives of our children, we influence them. I know that when I grew up, I kept hearing, you are a promise, you are a possibility, you are a promise with a capital P. You know, I know that those things were over me. And I had no choice but to internalize and then express those things. So I'm saying to parents, you know, sometimes we are the ones who say negative things about our children even as they're growing up. And then that is what they express, that is what they exhume, that is what they internalize. So it's part of us. We also need to be very, very careful of the words we say to and about our children.
But you had other siblings competing for space and care and things?
I am my mother's only child. My father has several other children, but I am my mother's only child. So I grew up with my mom. I grew up with an extended family. So mom, aunts, uncles, grandparents, that kind of thing is how I grew up.
Around community kind of support as well.
Yes.
Or encouragement.
Certainly the encouragement of the end. So I could think of teachers from preschool, primary school, and so forth, who were part of that.
So you did a lot of your studies away from what I gathered.
Yeah, so after
the country.
After I went to Roxburgh Sec, I went to sixth form in Compre, because Roxburgh Sec didn't have a sixth form at that time. And then I decided that I wanted to become a medical doctor, because really, I mean, at that time, the options are doctors, lawyers, that kind of thing is what you are pushed into. So I went to the United States. I was actually one of those Tobagonians who got a scholarship from the Tobago House of Assembly to go to the United States to study medicine. That was the original plan. I
was in that group as well. I think that we started
that was, I think Delmon Baker was also one of the students who may have gotten those scholarships, and there were a couple others.
Dr. Duke was one of them?
Actually, yes. So it was during that, it was during the Hochoy Charles time, way back when. Okay, not so way back, I'm not that old. So the aim was to go, I went and I did my undergrad in neuroscience, the study of the brain and the nervous system and that kind of thing, because the idea was to become a neurosurgeon. And then I recognized that I did not particularly like medicine. I did not particularly like being in like the hospital with I think something about me, I don't like being around people who are sick. I don't function very well. I'm probably too empathetic. It brings me down, kind of thing. So I then discovered what public health was. And then I realized that I could still do the health stuff without having to do the medicine stuff. So the clinical stuff. So medicine really has to do with one-on-one clinical, ensuring that people get well because they are sick, while public health has to do more with community health, ensuring that the community is well. And I know before my public health inspector, Mr. Bob, was here talking about the cleanup campaign and so forth that we're doing for Christmas and how that is linked to health. So that is
particularly in primary health.
So it is all over. And that's the thing. Primary health is actually still quite a bit of clinical health. Primary health still has to do with the medicine part of it and so forth. Public health is everything else that ensures that we are healthy. So it includes, for example, picking up the garbage to ensure that we do not have rats and all of those things.
Clean water, general sanitation.
Exactly, going around ensuring that our food is safe and the things that when they go into the food establishments and shut it down on, all of that is public health.
That's correct.
So when I learned about what public health was, I recognized that I could still be a part of this bigger thing that I was thinking about, but I didn't know the words for when I left Tobago. And that allowed me to then get my master's in public health and then doctoral degree in public health in Pittsburgh.
Oh, so your PhD was in public health as well?
It's actually a DRPH. It's a Doctor of Public Health, and the only people who care are those of us with DRPHs because we know our degree is better than the PhDs. Literally. So it's Dr. DR PH, Doctor of Public Health. So it's a DRPH is the actual.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. The only people who care are people with DRPHs.
Oh my goodness. All right. So let us get down to you. Every time I see you, you look younger than what you are. And I don't want to get to your age and so on, but is there a special exercise or diet that you practice generally?
No, and as a matter of fact, if I'm 100% honest, I have not been following exercise and my diet regimen as I need to over the last year at least. I think I just have a good heart. I think that I am a positive person generally, and I think that is what people see. So I can't say that I practice anything specifically. I think it's just I'm a good person, and it comes out.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good. Good to know. But we have to go for a break, and when we come back, we continue chatting with Dr. Faith B. Israel, of course, and she's the Secretary for Health, Wellness, Social Protection, and she's also the Deputy Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. And by the way, when we come back, we have to talk whether you have the portfolio of Diaspora or something. We'll talk about that too when we come back from the break.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. Light up the Christmas with the best fiber. Surfboard channel switch to Amplia. Thousands in prizes, plenty smart TVs. 1 year free service and free groceries. We suffering with Amplia. We winning with Amplia. We been drinking with now for 50% off, plus a chance to win over $100,000 in prizes. Call 800-4663.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
At JK Tech, we bring technology to your doorstep. From cutting-edge laptops to reliable printers, we've got it all. Nationwide delivery and a new website for easy online ordering. JK Tech is your one-stop shop for your electronics and computer needs. Carrying top brands such as Acer, Samsung, HP, and much more. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKTechTT or visit jktechtt.com. Quality tech is just a click away. JK Tech. Evaluate your shopping experience, your tech, your way. Call or WhatsApp 383-2651. Shop smart, shop JK Tech.
All right, guys, we back, viewers and you listeners out there. We hope you're having a great day. Just getting into the deep end of this Beneath the Surface program here with Faith. And Faith, Diaspora I brought to my attention that ended up being part of your portfolio. How that is working out, if you could spend a few minutes on that, and what's the plan in terms of capitalizing and utilizing the service of the Diaspora,
right?
You know, wherever they're located in whatever part of the world.
So yes, under Deputy Chief Secretary, I am responsible for all of the functions that were under the previous Deputy Chief Secretary, which includes diaspora relations. It also includes foreign direct investment and that kind of thing. So we've actually been doing quite a bit of work in those areas. The thing about me and when I work, I like to show results. So we've been doing quite a bit of work in the background that we will release publicly shortly. Part of it is creating a diaspora kind of help desk, so that anyone who is coming back home, we are working through for them the processes. So we will be launching, for example, a website shortly that gives you all of the information about if you're coming back home and you need to go to customs, this is the information you need to have. If you're coming back and you want to start a business, this is how you need to go through that process and that kind of thing, so that we make it easier. We also are about to roll out a project that it seeks to identify who our diaspora are. So that will be rolled out shortly, where people can come in and be a part of this larger process of saying, yes, I am Faith Aunt and I live in wherever, that kind of thing. So that is rolling out as well. Foreign investment is also the same way.
But before you get to foreign investment, just stick up in there. But what you're doing to make contact with the diaspora,
so all of that
at the present time,
so all
you're
of
networking,
so the idea, hold on,
database of
so the idea, and that is the thing. So all of that, so when I say we're working on that in the background, what you just said, it will be part of the rollout of those projects. So we're not just going out and saying the networking part will be part of the project that says you could say to me. So it's kind of like a family tree kind of thing that we want to build as well. So you can come in, and this is how we would know who you are, and then we could reach out to you and so forth after. So there's a full set of mechanisms that we are working to be able to launch that and to be able to do that effectively, and not just saying here, me saying, we are reaching out, but we are going to set up a full database to allow you to be able to be a part of that in a strategic way. So that will be launched shortly.
I'm bombarded by people out there who want to give back, who want to serve, who want to invest, or people who have contact with other people who want to invest and do things in Tobago. Is a real task, Sometimes I go to bed late, and they know I go late in the night, so people call me 10, 11 o'clock. Seriously, that's the time that I really have time, to really deal with some of these issues.
And that actually dovetails into the other part of what is currently on the Deputy Chief Sec, which is the foreign investment mechanism, because we are actually setting up a strategic mechanism where people don't have to call you if they want to do it, but we would set up a system where we'll have a full clearinghouse. This is where you contact it. This is where we say, well, these are the areas that we want investment in, where we say, well, if somebody's coming in with whatever money, we could double check to make sure that it is good, clean money that is coming in and that kind of stuff. So those mechanisms are also being set up at this moment to allow for us to do that kind of stuff.
I hope the help desk takes the form of like a one-stop shop.
In essence, that is what it would be.
That is very, very key. We have to, the ease of doing business is what will determine whether these things are successful or not. And that is key. You don't want people to come here, put an application before this entity, and it had to go to this entity there and here, and then come back to these people before you get a response. These people ain't waiting on that,
And that is why we're saying the mechanism is actually being put in place, so that that kind of running around. One, we would have a clear understanding of what is actually needed, and then we can walk the person through the process, do it for them in some instances, depending on the situation.
And this is a key. It's interesting that you tell me about this now, because we were thinking of setting up a system where we break up all these diaspora personnel and experts that we have there into about 5 different sections. So far we try to work it out, because people have health issues or health suggestions, health plans to come here and establish and set up or contribute. So one area we were looking at. Another area of people who invested in, just interested in environment and not alternative energy. Where's the other one again? Renewable energy. Renewable energy. A lot of people just involved in that. They say that's the way forward and so on. And on the other hand, there are people who just want to invest. People who are interested in putting on a marina. They have the resources. They have the idea. Some have the ideas. Some have the resources. Some of them looking for a nice place to put up something. So we have these 5 areas that we're trying to set up the diaspora. So you Dr. So-and-so, you will fit into this area. You dealing with investment, you know, and we hope sometime in the near future, we bring in as much of these persons together, you know, and link them up virtually first,
right,
and then see what they have to offer, who have just thinking about it, others who have distinct plans, other people who want to know the wherewithal, how we could get here and do this project in a good time and don't waste my time.
Exactly.
You know, that's the big issue with some of these people. And you are amazed, you'll be amazed how many people call me. They have this thing to do. I have this airline I want to bring. I have these people who want to take. I have a programmer talking to Tesla.
Right.
One of these, oh gosh, you should hear these people. And you know, up to last night, we're talking about how we're going to put them in different structures and systems, you know.
Don't worry then, because that is what is being worked out. Because there are millions of people out there who want to do stuff. So what we have to do is really determine what our focal areas are and identify to them.
We focus on
this
where
is
we're
what we're focusing,
prioritizing,
this is our
kind
priority.
of development.
Exactly. And then say, well, you can now come in. If this is something you are interested in, this is how we can work it out. So that mechanism is actually being developed as we speak right now. So
You must keep me informed about that, and
certainly
being involved in that kind of thing, because we're actually going to build on what we have been working on.
Certainly.
You know, so we have nothing to lose. So that help desk is extremely important, and in identifying these returning residents or these persons who are part of the
They may not
diaspora.
even want to return, and that's the thing. They may want to stay where they are and provide support in whatever mechanism they want to use that support. So it really is a way to identify who they are in terms of the family lineage kind of thing, but also who they are in terms of their technical capacity and where they have influence, because they may also just have influence to influence other people and pull from there. But we did not want to kind of jump out in a haphazard manner. If it's one thing, those who are around me know that I'm a very process person. So if we're doing it right. We're doing it in a strategic mechanism.
Working on this?
So we actually have quite a, well, let me not say quite a number of people. There are several technical officers who are working under the office of the Deputy Chief Secretary, which includes the foreign investment area, the diaspora area. We have our communications people. So there's a full department. There's a full office staff that's pulling these things together.
And these are people on contract or public service?
On contract.
Well, excellent. I mean, nice. That's a way that you go. Another area is finance. A lot of people out there.
Well, that is where the foreign investment part is, because the aim of foreign investment is looking for the money, to do whatever we need them to do. So when we say how you can partner with us, some of it does include actually bringing your money to the table to do what we need to do and how we manage that.
With the money that you have.
Exactly.
To do it, because when you have a stake in the thing, you want to ensure that it's done well and at a high standard.
Certainly.
So that is a very important thing. So the public-private partnership system or approach is one that we should really encourage, and don't just expect people to just come here and just dump all the money in this thing and run it.
No. It is going to be.
There must be some stake
it is going to be that
as a people or as an institution.
Certainly.
Yeah. I was very excited about this. I didn't know all of this was happening. I thought I myself try my thing with 1 or 2 people who I know, and they tell me about other people and burn it down my phone when I come, and so on. But this is an interesting area, and I've been telling, and this is what a discussion that I plan to have with Fali, with the Chief Sec, about this actual investment and the opportunities and the interests, and the enthusiasm that people showing out there for this area.
Certainly. So it's part of the process that's happening. As I said before, I do not particularly like to the local parlance come and buff up my face and talk about things until we are ready to actually do them. So that is what we're doing, a lot of work in the background, and when we are ready to make announcements, to make public announcements and so forth, those will be made, and you'll be very surprised at the amount of work that we are actually doing in the background.
Keep me posted on that one, please. I'm begging you. Yeah, a lot of things need to be happening. A lot of people have ideas and more than ideas and plans and so on. But a major concern from the feedback, a major concern of these people, they are hearing about our poor work ethic on this island.
Yeah, well, that is something that is a something that needs to change, but it needs to be changed systematically. So you would hear the Chief Sec, for example, speaking about the fact that, and I'm sure Mrs. Williams or Surtika spoke about it, shifting how the public service works and doing additional training on how the public service works and so forth. You would also hear us talking about our drive for digitization, because that also is going to help in how slow or quickly something moves physically. So when you have to actually find a file versus do it digitally, that changes or that shifts how it functions and that kind of thing. I need to remind myself though, and actually one of the administrators that worked with me within the Division of Health some months ago had to remind me that the ideas that we have and the mandate that we've come in with, they are good, they are great, they are lofty, but we have to be continually reminded that some of the people who we've met in the system are not thinking exactly like that. So we have to figure out how to bring them along. And we can't just run straight ahead, because we are going to leave a whole lot of people behind and then we will get frustrated. It was one of those moments where she was telling me, Faith, you need to learn a little bit of patience and you need to figure out how to bring all of us along with the vision that you have. And part of the workforce thing is getting people to the point where they do want to work. So I tell a lot of people that I actually spend the first year of being a Secretary for Health, for example, just sitting and chatting with the employees, working with them, recognizing that a lot of them are burnt out, a lot of them are just tired, a lot of them have literally been abused by previous secretaries and assistant secretaries and that kind of thing. So my social workers, for example, they came to me, I was like, well, what do you all want to do? Let's do spa days. Let's do, we've been doing stuff like that to get people to the point of saying, yes, we're working together, we're doing this together. I have actually been going to all of the different units and saying, okay, tell me what exactly is the problem. And you recognize that there are teeny weeny little things that are causing the bottlenecks and causing the holdups and that kind of stuff, and then we would design a system to treat with those things. It is not perfect yet. There are still some areas where I have significant challenges, but we're taking it one step at a time and recognizing that things actually do take time to change. So even that workforce thing, I think that with continual work, we are going to get there. And let me just give a quick example. I have to continually, when I go into my building, when I get into the elevator, I have to continually tell people, you can actually come in the elevator with me. And I am like, why are the door is open? What floor are you going on? And they are totally surprised that they can literally come into the elevator with me, because that was a problem before. So, we have to really honestly do a deep dive and figure out why people are behaving the way they're behaving, and then make the shifts so that we can encourage them to change. So no, you can't come up into my office. You can't literally ride the elevator with me. It is not that serious. We are all human beings here. Yes, I'm secretary, but yes, you can actually come into the elevator. Mm-hmm. And that causes a shift in how people think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I take pride in listening to you on that, and I'm happy, and I wish you the best. I have seen great public servants, and I've seen those who they're not interested in change. But we still have to try.
Exactly. We have to try.
Work closely with whoever want to work with us and to produce. And put the citizens or the particular, I don't want to say clients, but the people who you outreach with,
But I have found that the vast majority of the public servants who I work with, they want to work. They just need to be given the tools, they just need to be given the environment that allows them to work. They want to work.
Yeah. I want to get quickly to the Tobago, to the TRHA. The role of the TRHA and how we function how they function, and looking at primary health care first, what is involved, and if we're making any serious dent in that areas. First, the role of the TRHA and how you function with them. You know, the previous secretaries who had serious issues and thing between TRHA and secretary. How it works now and what's the function?
The Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, which is the arm of the Tobago House of Assembly, is the entity that is responsible for policy as it relates to healthcare. So in essence, we pay the TRHA to implement the services that they provide. The services include primary care, which is really the health centers and so forth, secondary care, which are the hospitals, and we are actually we are designing a kind of a in between both of those. Some of our centers will actually be, when I'm ready to talk about it, Jerry, I will talk about it. When it is ready, we will announce. So I'm not saying anything else about a kind of hybrid kind of thing to figure out how that works. Yes. So the idea is the policy is there. Work through the board of directors of the Tobago Regional Health Authority. There is the CEO and the executive of the TRHA that then implements what needs to be done. One of the things we did was when we actually moved to that new building in Glen Road, we also moved the head office for the Tobago Regional Health Authority.
Oh, yes,
so everything is right there. It's one building. So you're coming to TRHA, you're coming for social protection, and you're coming for health. All of it is in that one building. That means if there is something that we need to chat with the CEO with, is literally right downstairs. Come upstairs, I come downstairs, we can have that kind of conversation. We have these meetings continually whenever we need to discuss things. I must say though that I understand why previous secretaries did some of the things that they did. I don't agree with what they did, and I don't agree with how they implemented some of the things that they were trying to do, but I can understand some of the frustrations, for example, that they were having and why they did some of the things that they did. But of course, because I think about things a little differently and I have a process way of thinking, my aim is to get to a point of doing it in a way that works. So that is what we've been trying to implement, some of the shifts in a way that actually works. I'm extremely proud of the board that has been in place. They've been doing quite a lot of work in the background. We recognize that a lot of the deficiencies included us not having some key technical people within
I just got to raise that because to me that's a very big issue.
It is.
I'm very disappointed that they're taking so long to fill some critical positions.
But that is the thing. If you recognize, when you're seeing the ads, for example, that's coming out of the TRHA, it's all of these different specialists, and we're pushing it out, and you would see a month or two later an ad again come out with some of those same positions again, simply because we did not get people to come in, we did not get people to send in their application, and that kind of thing, and that has actually been one of our biggest holdbacks. It's really identifying people who want to come to Tobago with these specialties. So we've been going out and actually finding critical people and saying, you have to come back. You may not want to come back as an employee full-time, but you need to come back and do this particular thing. And we would actually be making some of those announcements as it relates to cardiac surgery, cardiologists, and that kind of stuff. Which is why, for example,
you have to be very careful about, you know, and I'm just not sounding a warning or trying to be alarmist, but, you know, some of these people are trying to exploit the TRHA or the THA because they come in with some extremely. I saw somebody send me something the other day. Somebody want $90,000 4 times a month to come here. 4 times a month, you want to come here and you want to charge people $92,000 a month. You can't encourage that kind of thing, Faith. You can't encourage that.
And that is why. So when you I am now saying to you what my administrator said to me, because you started by saying you are actually very disappointed that we have not been able to fill some of these positions. But you have also now identified some of the challenges about why it is difficult to fill some of these things, because some of the requests that we are getting are really just outrageous, and we have to rethink how we work this. So we've been, because it is taking a little bit more time to fill some of these actual
the specialist
positions. What we've been doing is looking at projects instead. So we'll do a project. So for example, the cataract surgery was a project. We come in, we know that we are hiring you to do this specific service. This is the contract we negotiated with you to do this. You come in, you do what you have to do. With the cataract, for example, it also included the equipment. So they actually brought in top class equipment to come in and do it.
That equipment will go unused for a long while.
No.
What plans you have to put that to use?
But but that is why. But that is why.
Some warehouse.
It is
some warehouse somewhere. That's gonna be something to rust.
Mr. McFarlane, you need to stop listening to when people just tell your story. Let me tell you. I warn you there. You need to stop listening. You see, when people just tell your story.
How long the equipment here? Tell me the truth.
You need to. Part of it is the equipment was actually used in the surgeries.
Part
you hear me?
Part of it
was actually used in the surgeries. The surgeries are actually wrapping up. This week will be the last week of this second.
Tomorrow?
Yes, this week would be the last week of the actual surgeries happening, and we would have completed about 1,300 surgeries between this year and last year when we did it. And the aim really is we actually had local doctors and nurses working with the foreign ones who came in to ensure that we can continue doing the service after. Exactly. We've had other similar simple projects. Last year or earlier this year, we had a Don't Fear the Smear, which was a pap smear thing. So for an entire month, we actually said to women all over, we're coming to your village, to your district, come and get your pap smear. Even on a Saturday and Sunday, we partnered with private entities to do it and so forth. So we recognize that until we can get the service back up to what I think is optimal service, we are going to keep doing these kinds of projects to get people what they need in the shortest space of time.
All right, I applaud you for that cataracting as a boss program, but you know, I couldn't, and it boggles my mind to see how two persons dealing with ophthalmology paid so well and do very little in terms of surgery, and when people, I have relatives who go to the clinic for 2 years, can't get their surgery done until your people come, and before your people come, they have to pay $10,000 for the same people to go and do it privately.
So Mr. McFarlane,
you know, these are the things. And when we talk, I get too emotional about it, you know, because you're dealing with people who are not well, unhealthy people, you know, who need service and professionals. And I get very upset about it, and you have to forgive me. I hope you listeners do too, because we cannot have a system where people, you know, you're talking about recruitment of people, critical people, and you have so many doctors running over each other. You ever go to...
let me just say this
situation here. You want these specialist services, but on the other hand, you have one set of doctors.
People.
You know,
so let me just say this. Let me just say this. So let me say this, Mr. McFarlane. Let me say this, Mr. McFarlane. The fact that you have just said that means, though, and I'm saying it to Tobagonians, when you start hearing or you start seeing those on the other side complain about fate firing people, know why. So anytime you hear a story about anybody going on suspension, anybody being sent on vacation, anybody being sent home, come back to this conversation and know that if it happening is because we have actually gone through those processes and we're doing what we need to do. I will say no more. The chair of my RHA is a good lawyer. I will say no more on that.
Oh, Lord. A basic thing, eh? Well, anyway, that's dealing with secondary healthcare. But we just want to get to primary healthcare and then get rid of that issue because.
So, but that's the thing. But that's it. But I know that. So this is it. Everything that we do in the healthcare system feeds into each other. Primary healthcare is what happens in the health centers, and it also includes health education and that kind of thing, which we need to actually beef up quite a bit more. Part of beefing it up has to do with how the organization is structured. So, for example, the TRHA just actually hired a communications unit. They did not have a communications unit for quite a while, and it is a communications unit that would actually work with the doctors and nurses and so forth, go out, do some of this health education that we need to do. It also means that we need to partner again closer with what is happening at Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, because we have an entire office of the County Medical Officer of Health that also has a health education component that will be working together to push out a lot of these things. So it's really a matter of, I can boast of taking the last 2 years to really lay the foundation for a lot of these things that you will see being pushed out shortly.
Let's go for a quick break. And when we come back, we have to continue this discussion.
Certainly.
Primary healthcare, and we have to move to secondary healthcare quickly. Watching the time here, boy.
I actually think we need to talk about social protection as well. So we shouldn't spend too much
time. We go
time.
for a quick break, fellas. Take a break now, and let's come back and continue the discussion.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
So your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tatil motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tatil, where people are people. A member of the Ansa McCall Group.
Hey, hello guys, welcome. Come have a seat.
Oh, this is so stylish and I love the fabric. Darlings, you must tell us where you got your new furnishings.
We got them locally at Standard. They've got new chic European furniture, crafted from high quality material.
Oh, Standard?
No, it's Standard, their brand new Hive collection.
Experience luxurious European furniture at a price you will love. The Hive collection, now exclusively available at Standard.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay, folks, we back from the break, and Faith, there's so much issues and so much time left. I want us to just have a little discussion quickly on primary healthcare before we go to another big issue, Roxborough Hospital.
Right. So
let me just wrap up this thing. There's so much issues: chronic disease, cancer, autoimmune disease, diet, immunization, disease protection. All these things are critical part of primary healthcare, and they need to be much more should be done. And I personally feel I'm no trained specialist in these areas, but I understand how they work and they function and what it should be. And I feel there need to be greater effort to be placed on outreach by the people in primary healthcare, and not just sitting down and wait until these people come to them at stage 3 or stage 4 cancer, and then you can't do nothing about it.
So if you listen to what I said before, a big chunk of it is creating an organization that can do that. A big chunk of what you just spoke about includes communicating with the communities. And as I said, the TRHA actually got a communications unit that will work very closely with the doctors and nurses and everyone else there to do exactly what you are doing. But it is something that is taking time. The communications folks just got there, literally, not even a month. Not even a month, just got there, and that is the kind
just
of
running on the job.
And that is they are doing that.
And the learning curve and the implementation curve is very steep.
Very steep.
And them know that.
Yes.
They're supposed to know that.
Yes, certainly. So
we will be following up on that, but there's quite a lot of things to be done in that area that I'm not happy with, and I feel greater outreach, maybe with the communications people and different programs, and something like prostate. So,
but you know what? So just now, the thing is, one of the things that I learned is that sitting on the outside of this allows you to think about things in a way that you need to shift when you are on the inside. So, for example, I know that you were on the board of the TRHA for some time, and it is proof that even at this point, that it is kind of difficult to even implement, because even when you were on the board, it was difficult to implement some of these things because there were so many other things that needed to happen before you could get to there. But as I said before, it will happen soon. We also have to remember the fact that we came in to this with COVID, and COVID basically shifted how we thought about doing a lot of things, and we now have to do almost like a recalibration coming out of COVID to get back into that. So our social workers and so forth are actually now going back into the communities, into the health centers, and then pushing into the communities specifically to go and do quite a lot of what you are talking about. It is a kind of synergy. Yeah, that is all being built back into the system now. Given that we are really coming out of COVID and we are now recalibrating, because that is what needed to happen. Recalibration. So let's talk about Roxborough really quickly. Roxborough is still, in my mind, a health facility. It is a health facility that is doing, and I say health facility versus hospital because we have not gotten to the point where we have inpatient services just yet. I'm hoping that by very early 2024, we would have the inpatient services. If you've been looking at
what could justify?
But listen to me, listen to me. If you look at all of the advertisements that have actually been coming out of the TRHA, 90% of those are actually what we need to have the inpatient services at Roxborough. So if you notice, you're not seeing any of them for some of the lower level things, but you're seeing it for specialists. And it's really there has been a full drive to ensure that that happens. So we have had outpatient services that's been going on, continues to happen. We have had A&E services, so that continues to happen every day. You can go to accident and emergency from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So the last piece right right now is just the inpatient services. And I have been told, the CEO actually came to my office a couple of weeks ago with a full matrix about all of the positions, what happened, how many applications we have, and that kind of thing, with the aim of by very early next year we would be able to say, yes, we actually have inpatient services happening. It is taking way too long in my regard, in my mind, but it is happening, and we have to learn to allow the things to work when they are working. It is happening now, so we're just going to allow it to happen, to allow it to work in the timing that makes sense for it to work.
Sometimes even with all the specialists, I see some what is really needed is a restructuring, restructuring
But
of the
Mr.
whole
McFarlane, why
thing,
all you didn't restructure when you was on the board then?
We did some restructuring and we did hire some people and so on, but we didn't have the kind of problems that I see right now. I mean you have another hospital.
I don't know that is really the case, because a lot of these problems, when I talk to some of the employees, when I talk to some of the people on the ground, a lot of these problems have been long-standing problems for over a decade. Have been problems. So a lot of them have been very, very long-standing issues that we are working on resolving. But as I said, one of the way I think is we actually do deep dives and working to fix them as we go along. So for example, one of the next areas that we are hoping to work with, and you may not even notice it now, a year from now you would probably see a shift going into accident and emergency, and actually looking at the process in accident and emergency to see where are the hang-ups, what is causing the delay, what do we need to implement, are there specific diagnostic tools that are having the keep back, and that kind of thing. And as I said before, in some of these things the public will not notice that there is a huge improvement immediately. What you may recognize is that a year from now, a year and a half from now, you go to accident and emergency, and it was only after you realize you did not spend a long time there and that it is working better. So that is the way we are working through the system to fix these things. But I also recognize how if you try to do everything all at once, you end up doing nothing. So we're taking the strategic steps, one step at a time, to get them to where it needs to. And that's one of the reasons why we are really pushing Roxborough as well, because if we push Roxborough to be full up and running, that would take some of the burden off of Scarborough, and then we can work through some of the other issues that are happening at Scarborough.
I'm thinking that you have maybe about 6 anesthesists, whether it's a registrar level or specialist level or something at Scarborough, the last time I checked. So on, why an anesthetist can be sent to Roxborough, transferred to Roxborough, or assigned to Roxborough on certain days. There are certain specialists that down here, sometimes for all kind of foolish.
So you say all of that you're going through and you're trying to work out in your head, we actually have people who are working it out now. Stop hot your head, Jerry. Stop hot your head.
All right, okay. What we could do, you talk about A&E. I was so depressed some time ago, not too long ago, a 92-year-old woman fall down home, but she had, and they had she in A&E for 14 hours. Waiting on this doctor to say this, waiting on this next specialist to say this, and so on. 14 hours. Head boss, the turnaround in A&E had to be improved somehow. And I'm glad they started working on it, because you always get issues from time to time. Another interesting thing that I want to discuss really is the drop in birth rates in Tobago.
Right, so we don't know.
Some years ago, I know it used to be like 1,200 a year annually.
So there has been a drop in birth rate, and we are not sure exactly what is causing that. That is actually something that is on the cards that needs to be studied. I will not come here and try to proffer as to why I think it is happening, because that's just not how I am. I don't just talk for talking's sake. But it is something that we have noticed, and it is something that we need to do a full deep dive with. And now the other side of that we are also seeing, and I see it specifically from being charged of social protection, is that we still have quite a number of people who are having children, and then they come for support because they can't afford the children that they're having. So we need to figure out what exactly is happening, and when we are making a push to try to bring back up the birth rate, we have to do it in a way where it actually makes sense financially,
But when we were 12,
socially
births
for
a
the
year,
for the
there were
division.
people like that as well.
Yes, I know, and that's why I'm saying we need to figure out exactly what is happening. There may be some fertility-related issues that we need to look at, but it is something that needs to be studied. And
there is a fertility. I can tell you that there is a fertility issue. You hear people complain and talk to you about this issue. Ovarian dysfunction and other fertility issues. Polycystic ovaries is a big issue. Breast cancer increase is phenomenal and frightening. Prostate issue on the other side for men is another big issue. What are we doing? What are we eating? Is there any research? I know you don't want to come here and assume different things. You know, when I was a young boy, Dr. Patrick had a major study in
the prostate cancer
in Plymouth. It started in Plymouth, Bethesda, and it spread almost to the whole island.
That's the whole island that did it.
You know, and that came up with so many different issues that people had just by a little blood test and checking your pressure and the thing and so on, and that led it, you know. And people, I was there with Dr. Patrick as a young boy, trying to find the names of this man, because we know people in Plymouth by particular names,
by nickname.
you know, and so on. You had a fellow named Black Snake, you know, we know him as Black Snake. Man come in and tell me, who is this person, Jerry? We need to find this person. And so we can't find the person, but we know them by a particular name. Afterwards, they kind of people who had serious issues and they're big and strong. And so on, you know, walking about the place. The same issue you had when you were doing the immunization for COVID. You know, people there looking good and strong. When they're going to take the pressure or you take something, you find the thing blowing up through the roof. We need to check on those birth or what you call those things again, fertility issues. Prostate or ovarian dysfunction issues. So many people have these issues. We have the specialists on the island to deal with it, and even dealing with that is one aspect. But have we done the research to see what have been contributing? Is it things that we eat? Is it the processed foods or something? We have to get to that seriously, you know, Faith.
We do need to get to it, and it's just a matter of time. As I said before, one of the things I have learned is that if you try to do everything at once, you end up doing nothing. So it is. There are actually individuals who have reached out to us who are willing to help with some of these things. So it's really just a matter of doing the implementation and making the announcements when they are about to happen.
There are students, young doctors who may be coming back and like to do research and so on, you know, get them in that kind of thing. I think one of the secretaries I remember in the past had some doctors just doing something on cancer, you know, had a whole database on the different types and so on. And one of them called me the other day, Mr. McFarlane, you know, there are issues of cancer in the penis on the island, you know, and so on. And I get so frightened. I say, what is this? You know, but you need to get data. You need to get information of what is happening on the ground. If even you survey, say, 20% of the population or people of a certain age, you know, to get a more finite information about a particular situation is quite important. Let's talk a little bit. Breast cancer is another thing.
So can we do this though? Because I think we've been focusing quite a bit on the health issues, and I think unfortunately that means that a lot of our social protection issues are not dealt with. Unfortunately, some of the questions that you're asking me, I honestly do not have the answer because we do not have the research. We know that it needs to be done, and it is going to happen. But in social protection, it's important to also highlight some of the shifts that we've made and some of the changes that we've made and some of the changes that we will make coming shortly. Very proud of the fact that we actually have a shift in how we do our social working. So we have the
social protection comes under you.
Yes, it
your
is.
Ministry, your division.
Yes, remember it is health. It is health, wellness, and social protection. The wellness part deals with the public health and what they do going out and cleaning the roads and that kind of stuff. And the social protection part deals with the social workers and providing grants and that kind of thing. Now, while I am
which include the food card.
Which include the food card. So while I'm there, though, let me make one distinction that I think needs to be very, very clear. I spoke about it in the House last week or week before, whenever we were there. Tobago needs to understand that there are two groups of people who do social welfare or social work as it relates to grants and so forth. There's a social welfare department that is responsible for things like your disability grant and your old age pension and those things. Those things are actually, even though they are housed in the division, as in the same building, those things are actually being managed by the Ministry of Social Development. So when you come into the building, and I get complaints all the time about, you know, your pension or your disability or even the red food cards that people have and so forth, those are actually managed by the ministry. The Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, we are the ones that manage the other kinds of grants that you may have. So if your house got damaged and we need to put you up for 3 months or 6 months or whatever it is, we do that kind of rental assistance. If again there was a fire and you need to purchase a fridge or a stove or whatever, that kind of thing, we do that kind of social protection. So those are the things that are under the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. We also have like the REACH grant, where we give small individuals who are clients who are REACH, Realization for Economic Achievement, where we give a small grant to individuals who have a business, because the idea is you may be coming in because you need help with food or rent or whatever, but if we can push you into doing a business, then you will not need to be a social protection client anymore, because we have gotten you to the point of you running your own business, that kind of thing.
So it's taking you out of the dependency,
exactly, and giving you, so the idea is we give you the seed grant, you're able to build. If you need more money because you have developed and built, you can then go over to BDU or one of the others to get funding that way. We started doing case conferencing, so if a client comes in and we recognize that this client may need help from other divisions, the social workers from all of the divisions in THA, so whether it's settlements, education, or wherever, they actually sit in a room together and discuss the clients, so that we know that we're not sending you the client, go over to education to do this or go over to settlements to do this. Once you come into one of these buildings, we pull everybody together and we have those meetings as well to ensure that the client is seen holistically. That is something new that we've been doing for the last year or so. So it's not that it's about a year we started implementing that, and I think that has actually helped quite a bit with the social protection part.
I like the approach and the philosophy behind that.
Certainly. Now, one of the things I want to highlight, though, because I want to say it publicly, so that when my social workers start asking the clients to do it, you know it is not something that is strange. We recognize that we needed to actually have the clients take a little bit more responsibility for some of the issues that are a part of their problem. So we are, for example, having serious challenges identifying places for people to stay, because we've had clients in the past who we rent the place for the clients, and the clients and whoever mash up the people in place. So we now, and I'm saying it here so that people know, I actually have my legal department looking at a social contract that we are going to have every client who we provide support to sign, that says you need to be responsible. Know that if you mash up the people and them story and you get put out, you can't come back for we to try to find a next place for you, because it's you that mash up the people and them story. Know that if you are coming to us because you need assistance with food, because we do have the temporary food card, the green food cards, know that a part of the process would be you having to do financial management training with us, or you having to do we help you seek jobs and that kind of thing. So that social contract is one of the things we are going to be implementing shortly. So know that once you are coming to the division because you need social support, we need you to also take your responsibilities seriously to ensure that we work together to bring you out of that situation. So we would be helping you with getting your resume up and going, helping you to find a job. You cannot just go to the job and cuss and walk away and then come back and say you don't have a work, so you need your rent paid. No, we cannot continue doing that. We need to ensure that we have our clients in a space where they can no longer be dependent on us. And until we get there, we will continually just having these large volumes of clients just coming. So that's one of the policies that we are also shifting that I wanted to talk about specifically with. So when you see it, when my social workers tell you that this is part of what you need to sign, it is just part of what you sign. It's just one of our new policies.
I imagine with this issue of food cards in the hands of people who don't really need it.
So
I see professionals. I mean, and I wanted to take a picture of me, a professional.
So I have a
professional public servant.
Is it a green food card or a red food card?
I think it was a red food card.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad you said that, because the red food cards are not administered by the Tobago House of Assembly. The red food cards are administered by the Ministry of Social Development, and they have their own set of policies, their own set of rules. The green food cards are the ones that are administered by the Tobago House of Assembly, and you have to come in and actually do a full assessment. We are reworking the policy now to allow additional people to be able to get the food card, because we recognize that there's a gap, because we have the red one is there, that is supposed to be the long-term food card that you get from ministry. The green one, which is the THA one, is supposed to be the emergency.
So you have no control over what the red or the green card can purchase?
Listen, I have no control over what happens with the red card at all.
Who gets it?
Or who gets it or anything like that. So, for example,
with your green card now.
But with the green card, it is the workers within the division that are doing the assessment and making sure that what the people who come in and the people who actually walk out with a card are the people who actually need the card. I have even said to my colleagues, as secretaries, assistant secretaries, assemblymen, and so forth, send us the names of the people. You will come in and get the assessment done. But faith.
What about people who are not mobile? They get somebody to do
No, they do that, yeah, and they can go out. So when we say come in, it's not a physical come in all the time.
It's being in touch.
But it is being in touch, and they actually go. Because for example, my social workers are not in the office 50% of the time.
Beautiful.
They are out. They are not in the office.
This is a good thing that we continue chatting. I never know all these nice things are happening.
Exactly.
And transformation is taking place.
Is happening. Transformation is happening. So you will never hear about any of our secretaries.
So what they can do with the green card?
They can go to their specific grocery. No, their specific groceries. But when you get the card, you get a list of the groceries that they'll honor it and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Of course,
you
cannot purchase things like alcohol and cigarette and that kind of stuff. But anything else that is in the grocery, you can purchase. We are moving swiftly. Hopefully by next year, closer to the end of the year, we will get there where we will be moving to full digital. So all of our grants would actually be digital. So that way we would have a greater reach. We actually have some consultations and so forth happening now for us to design the digital platform. So you wouldn't even need to come in. If you need to send your ID card, you could literally just take the picture, send it in, and we will do the processing. There's the social worker will still come home by you to see what you and that kind of thing.
Look, I think I continue this interview, boy.
That is coming shortly. I am hoping, I am praying. I'm working with a wonderful IT team with the social protection components. All of us working together to ensure that we roll this out. It must happen, and I'm saying it big and bold. And I hope all the IT people listening to me. It must happen next year. It had to happen next year.
And let me say early next year now.
It may not happen early next year. I need to also be realistic, because we are basically starting from scratch. There are some systems out there that have some kind of kinks, so we actually are going to have someone design a full system for us.
IT professional helping with this?
Yes, of course.
And I'm saying also that you can use the Tobago Information Technology Limited.
Those people are also part of the discussion, my dear sir.
All right, okay. Good news, good news. Yeah, I like to hear this good news or these approaches that have been taken to change things and make things better. Where my list? I have a little thing here with clinical appointments. Faith, oh gosh. The other day I almost cried. I met a senior retired public servant with his bag and thing, and you know, he can't help himself, and they have him waiting out there for the longest while. When I see the man, I just barely hear the voice, Mr. McFarlane.
Yeah.
I just barely hear the voice and I pass in. When I look back, I see this man, competent public servant, hard-working former public servant, you know. Still, I mean, I could qualify the point that he's public servant, but how I know him, you know. And the man tell me here since 6 o'clock this morning, he waiting in this clinic and nobody ain't calling him, 1 and 2 people going out and so on, and he ain't eat nothing.
Yeah, because he have to go in with having not eaten.
Gosh.
And that
you know, that was 11 o'clock in the day, feet. I had to go inside there and say, nurses, all I help this man now. Notwithstanding, he's a retired public servant who did work in this assembly. Well, let's try and help this man now. This man outside, he's hungry, not feeling well, and so on. You know what he'll tell me? Hi, me, you know he here still? What kind of thing, what kind of system is that?
So,
that somebody go forget a patient?
So, the same way the social protection component is being digitized, the same push is happening within the TRHA. I don't know if people recognize that currently the TRHA is partially digitized. So when you go with your medication, when you go with your prescription, you realize that the pharmacists, they're on their computers typing in whatever and that kind of stuff. So that part is putting in a record there. That part of it is digitized. If you go to the lab, you will recognize that you're seeing them there in front of the computers. That part of it is digitized. The part that is not digitized is the everyday walking around, doctor seeing patient kind of thing. And we are actually doing the background information now, to the background research and so forth, to see what it would take to get us to the point where the doctor would no longer be walking around with a clipboard, but will have a tablet or a phone or whatever it is and do it. And that way, for example, you no longer have to deal with the hard copy medical records, because a big part of the problem is half of the time
they can't find
the file. So you have to sit down there until they find the file. And the reason that that person was probably still sitting there is because the file was probably not on the stack as listed as being there, because they would have gone through the file and realized that his file is still sitting there. So all of these things are part of what we are doing to ensure that we don't have repeats of things like that just now. It would also include shortly just now that somebody like that may not even need to come to the hospital, but can do telemedicine. We're not there yet, but that is where we're heading to. So, you know, you may not even need to come to the hospital for your clinic, depending on what you need to do. But you could have your phone or have your children or whatever set it up for you. You talk to the doctor. If we realize that we actually need to see you, then we could work out either you coming or coming to you. But again, that is not going to be next week kind of story, but we're heading in that direction.
But can we do something right now, almost immediately? And I don't think that is not rocket science. To get 100 or 80-something people who are to come to, say, medical clinic, and you give everybody the same time.
Now
tell me what madness is this?
Now that is something that is actually shifting. And I know
up to quite recently, I don't know if it is, well, it ain't started yet then.
So it is shifting, and there are two sides of it. Because people are used to the everybody come for 6 o'clock story, there are examples in Trinidad, for example, where your appointment is 10, but because you're used to for the last 10 years coming 6 o'clock, you still come 6 o'clock. And that is a thing that we need to shift as well. So right now, we actually do have a thing where people do have bulk time, where you come
bulk appointment.
So 10 people come for 8. 10 people then come for 9, 10 people come for 10 kind of thing. But because we are so used to everybody coming at the same time, we end up with the whole everybody coming for 6 o'clock.
Somebody told me they were the medical thing, and everybody got their appointment. When they checked, everybody got their appointment. I think it was for 8 o'clock or some cheapness like that. Every single soul, 80 something of them or 40 something, can't remember the figure. But everybody did. Yeah. So people come there for this particular time. They say, look, let me try and come early and so on to see if I could get in case somebody else come in this thing. And everybody pile up there. I mean, that ain't taking rocket science to address, man. That is punishment.
Certainly.
That is punishment. Just somebody can say, listen, let me do block time or something. We started that when I was on the board. People come for certain times to do different things. You know, and sometimes you have some foolish excuse that the expert who coming from Trinidad didn't get a flight, and they know that since the day before, you have make no effort to call these people who you have the phone number and the next of kin phone number to tell them a new clinic. The man can't come and miss a flight for whatever reason, whether it's a fictitious reason or you have a big surgery to do and you have big money to make, so he forgetting his Tobago clinic and he dealing with the thing down there. So we just call the people now, that's the courtesy. Take up the phone, call the people and say, listen, no clinic today, the man can't come. Or the woman can't come, or the specialist can't come. These are some simple things that I think we could do to get on. But another good story, one of my good stories is to commend whoever is responsible. For a couple of years now, we have the service at oncology has been exemplary. Yeah. Exemplary. I have not heard one single person, and I've been dealing with all these people from time to time. People will call me. There's a lady who goes, a lady in Boku, a lady Joseph. Oh God, she can't talk, she can't sing enough praise about these people in oncology. When you go there, they greet you in a particular way. They know you by name. If they don't know your name, can I help you in this positive way? You feel like you're bothering them. They're just willing to help. A total attitude. And I'm saying, and to some extent that is being done at dialysis. You know, until they were disrupted by some chemical or some things in the thing, dust or mold.
So let me say this.
That must be used as an example.
Let me say this. In every single department, as in clinical department, in the hospitals or even in the health centers, we actually have some of the best employees. We have some of the best doctors, nurses, physiotherapists, whatever they are. We have some of the best. The TRHA, I even boasted the minister, me and Kewa, he said the TRHA is the best RHA in the country. As much as we complain about a lot of things, the TRHA is actually the best in the country. And in many instances, there are systems that are not in place that causes us to not provide the best service. So even though we have the best people, if the machine that they need to use is not working, then you will have to sit there for a couple hours because it's only one machine instead of 5 kind of thing. And that is the kind of analysis that we are doing to determine what is really causing the problem. Even some of these where you would consider attitudinal problems, where somebody seems to just be in a bad mood or that kind of thing. Those are the kinds of deep dives we're having. What really is the issue? And you may recognize that this person there may be one supervisor, for example, there's a challenge between those two that is causing that kind of thing. So I am just cautioning us and even cautioning myself to be careful with how we think about what these problems are, because these problems have been long-standing problems for decades even. And if we are not careful, we will just run into them being frustrated and not necessarily solving the problem. And that is what we are spending time doing. And that is why it is these things that have been festering for years and years and years. You cannot expect them to be fixed in a year. because they really have been festering for a long time, and it is taking effort to do them. But we're getting there. I have the best employees. We have the best. The TRHA is the best. Me and care what nobody say. We are the best. And yes, there are examples that we seem to not be having challenges with. And even the areas where we are having challenges, I know that it is not just an individual, just wicked and bad mind kind of story, but there are systematic problems that we need to treat with, and that is how I am focusing, and that is how the board is focusing, and that is how the executive of the TRHA is focusing, and we will get to the point where a year from now, 2 years from now, you will just recognize that you are not hearing the complaints. And that is how you know you are seeing changes.
It's just that I agree with you, but just that I can't agree with your time frame to get these things done. I'm just too busy. And sometimes when we run fast, that we must rush these things,
no,
but some of these things just need a decision to make in how you will restructure this thing. I mean, clinical appointment. Oh God, you want a year to organize that?
But Jerry, as I said before, you also, having been on the TRHA board, also understands that some of these things, and then
the time at ENA and all that.
And then what happened?
Steps to deal with
and then what happened?
The system just fall apart.
And that is my point.
That is part of the problem.
That is exactly my point.
And make the system, whatever change you make, maintained or get better.
And that is my point. I want a situation where, after we have identified what the problem is and we have put the fix in, we also put in the thing that causes the fix to not dwindle after a while. So this is going to be a long-term fix that actually works, because we have put in the M&E systems, we've put in the quality, we've put in all of these things, and that takes time.
Yeah. And we need to follow some of the processes and situations done by oncology, and even to some extent dialysis. Oncology follow up the patients even when they're home, you know. You could call them from home, and a patient home with a serious problem, call oncology. If they ain't come,
but you have to also look at the volume of patients that oncology
that is quite true.
That is a very because if an entire unit has 20 patients versus another unit where a clinic have 80 people, then it is not realistic to expect the same kind of one-on-one contact you have with 20 patients that you will have with 80, given the circumstances. So all of those are things patients, you need to think.
There may not be 1 or 2 people there. You have a number of people to deal with them, you know. But I think we need to really look at structuring just systems to start with, and procedures that to make the thing much more efficient. That should be a measure to start with there. Let me see how we could improve these things from a, you know, simple, some basic things to be done, and let me see if we could work on that.
Certainly.
And anyway, Faith, I just want to thank you very much. This has been one of the interviews that I've been really looking forward to, and I really like and I'm interested in the part where you talk about you have diaspora relations and investment and so on, especially as your role as Deputy Chief Secretary. I hope you'll keep me, we'll be in touch. To those areas, because my phone keeps ringing about different things that a lot of people want to do, and I was busy there trying to work out a system that we could all be in touch, you know, and have virtual meetings on different issues. So I would like to continue with that and with them, and to see how that could dovetail into what you're doing and so on. It's very, very important, especially now. Money is a problem. We can't always look like beggars going to the central government for funding. We have to find ways to sustain ourselves, bringing in investment and bringing in people who can contribute. Volunteerism is a big thing in the world today. A lot of people want to come and just volunteer their services for nothing, you know. So thanks very much. Really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. I hope we
could have the pleasure of meeting from time to time, like what we used to meet before. I mean, the politics and your responsibility should keep us apart.
Well,
you know?
I have to manage my time.
Very well. Folks, this brings us to the end of this program. Tomorrow is a big day for us here on Beneath the Surface. We have the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Fali Chavez Agustin. And we're trying to see if we could get 2 hours to have this discussion. I know that wouldn't be enough time, but it's going to be a very exciting moment for us here at Tobago, at Tobago Updates. So look forward to that tomorrow. And Faith, thanks again, and let us stay in touch. And when we meet next time, you must tell me that, this place, we have better clinical support in one of these clinics, People come in and they're happy, they're not forgetting anybody in the hallway or anything and so on, Whenever we meet, we must have a nice story to tell.
Certainly. That is my aim. That is why I'm here, and that is why I'm enjoying
Any closing remarks?
I would like to thank Tobago, thank first the Electoral District, Belgan Glamorgan, for having confidence in me and voting for me to get me to this position. Thanks to all of my staff at Health, Wellness and Social Protection. Thanks to the TRHA, everybody, all of us. I absolutely appreciate the hard work that you all have been doing. Don't think it's not noticed. It is noticed, it's loved, and it's appreciated, and together we are going to be able to treat with all of these issues. And just now it's taking time, but I know that we all have the technical capacity that's needed to get us to that point. So I just want to thank you all for allowing me to lead in that regard, and we will continue. Also, those staff in the Office of the Deputy Chief Secretary, thank you so much for being a part of it. And yes, we had so much fun for Tobago Day Sports and so on. Really excited. Thank all of you for participating in that as well. It's been a wonderful time.
Yeah, all right. And I just want to say, those specialists who put in some big requests for 4 days a month and so on, I'm going to expose you if you continue making these outrageous suggestions for remuneration. I'm going to expose you all. So review all the claim and all the position before you come and say taking a position in TRG. I am going to be the person who exposes all this. So let me get that straight one time. All right? No 88 or 90 something thousand for 4 days in this Tobago here, while I am around. Okay. See you next week. See you tomorrow. Fali. Chief Secretary Fali. All right, folks. Take care.
Tobago updates.